There we go. So we should be live. Hello, everybody. I'm Vincenzo Belpiede, taking care of App Social globally. Jennifer here, my team has organized this wonderful hangout with some really cool game developers that are all over the world. So I think we've got people in Finland and Chile and all over the place. We'll go through some intros right now. So yeah, we can start straight with the intros. So Vladislav, you want to start?
Yeah, sure, no worries. So, my name is Vladislav Spevak. I'm part of a Mingle Games company. I'm co-founder with my co-founder, second, Jiří Formanek. We made game Darklands for AppCampus, and it becomes right now most successful project there. So, that's it. Should I continue, or we are cycling first about just introduction?
Okay, cool.
I guess.
Pasi, you want to go next?
Sure. Right, my name is Pasi Hirvonen. I'm from Seepia Games. We're an independent game studio from Lappeenranta, Finland. Our game's called Permia Duels. It's basically a collectible card game. We were in the AppCampus project a few months ago and took part in the camp. It was pretty good. So, Permia Duels, great game.
Okay, cool. And so, Tim, your turn.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
So my name is Tim Lawbacker, and I created a series of apps called Timo's Challenge, which are location-based race games, and they're in different cities around the world. Currently, I have one in Helsinki, in Boston, and New York City. And I was part of the App Academy a year ago, spring of 2013.
Great, awesome. So, Jen, maybe a quick intro from you, and then we can go deeper on the games and their experiences as Windows Phone developers and AppCampus and App Social and so on.
Well, my name's Jen, and I am the marketing manager for App Social. I'm out there spreading the word about App Social and learning more every day about the great world of Windows Phone apps. From Colorado and based in San Diego.
Awesome. Okay, so who wants to start talking about a little bit more in detail about your game, how you became a developer, and how you joined AppCampus and your experience there and so on.
Oh, I can start when we start.
Anybody?
So.
Cool. Perfect. Vladislav, go ahead. Thank you.
All right. So how I became developer? I guess from my youth, I just was addicted to games. So that was something I always wanted to do, make games, and it just happened. And I always had some math skills, so I could earn mathematics easily, and so I started programming, etc. But always it was just goal to make games. I like programming, but for me it's just creating games the most important thing. So I was starting to be studied everything around it, and then get employment at gaming companies and become part of some bigger companies as Disney Mobile, etc. And decided to make own company because I saw possibilities in this time of mobile gaming to actually make own company and go indie, and it's actually possible to even make a money for living from that. So that's what we are trying and actually lately succeeding to do. And our company Mingle Games are a 3-person company, and we created a few titles before Darklands. It was Save the Birds and Worm and Hammer. Save the Birds was kind of a successful title and earned us enough money to carry on. And there was a Darklands project we had in mind that we actually applied for AppCampus. How I get to AppCampus? Well, it was a random thing. Just one of my friends sent me a link that there is some funding possibilities. I didn't know about it before, so I read through the website, checked the details about it, and found it very interesting. So I just applied, and collected materials. We made some video to present ourselves, etc. And I just got approved. Also, there was an invitation to Academy process. So I mean, to stay there a month in the Academy and have some coaching, etc. So it looks very attractive to me. So I totally was into it. So I accepted. And I'm very glad I did, because it was very useful for me, and to actually change course of development process with Darklands. We got some ideas that we decided to totally change, and everything went well. I got lots of good feedbacks and lots of responses from very experienced people, and so we carry on working on the game, release it, and rest is kind of a history. As I said, we became a most successful project so far. We beat the 1 million downloads like few weeks ago. It's growing. We still have like 17,000 daily downloads. Rating is good, and we are working on updates. So life's good. All right. So basically.
Well, that's great. I was going like woo for you when you said you reached 1 million downloads. So that's great to hear.
That sounds good. And it surprised me. Just really, I didn't expect that 1 million to happen. Really, that's something's good. Really.
And where are you from originally? I didn't ask that to everybody, but of course it's interesting to hear.
I'm all from lots of different places, but I was born in Serbia, and but to Slovak parents, so I'm ethnically Slovak. Was born in Serbia, then moved to Slovakia. Now I live in Czech Republic in Prague.
Oh wow, very Eastern European. I've been to Serbia many times. Great country. Ja volim Serbia. Great.
Ja volim Srbiju isto.
Great. So you wanna tell us a little bit about the game? I think I'm showing it here in my screen, but maybe you can tell us a little bit how it works and how it goes.
Yes, our game is, we call it Battle Runner because it's kind of takes a few proven concepts like Infinity Runner game, but we didn't want to do just in another Infinity Runner. There are like a million of them around, so it's we put a little extra things, and that is actually combat system. So you're in the game, you're running by yourself, and by you're controlling jumping and sliding. But what is most important is that you can actually have a combat fight with lots of enemies there. So you are fighting not only common enemies, but there are some bosses that are kind of very tricky to beat. You have to figure out how to do it, and you actually have this artistic style, noir, deep, dark silhouettes that make very atmospheric feeling to the game. So this part like unique gameplay, innovative gameplay with a very strong audio visual make game most popular. That's always people likes to tell this is a reason why they are playing.
I just completed the first tutorial, so I'm feeling really good about it. So that's awesome. Looks really good. I actually recently played on Xbox One Rise, the Roman game, and so I did a lot of fighting recently. So I think I'm gonna do some more fighting here. I wish there was Xbox points to gain, but otherwise it's great. Maybe we can talk about Xbox games in another hangout. So cool. I don't know if unless anybody else has any questions, we can have somebody else share about their experience.
Let's have Tim talk.
Cool. So Tim, yeah, tell us about it. You know,
just want to say how much I like Darklands myself.
Great.
Thank you.
Sure. Just want to start off by saying how much I like Darklands. It's a blast. So I just got into doing mobile development about 2.5 years ago myself. I've been a web developer for about 15 years now, and just started getting into mobile development. And my passion had to do a lot with building games that get people out and more physically active. I have 2 teenagers, and so it's really difficult to get them out and up off their butts doing something. So I tried to build this game, Timo's Challenge, which is like a race, like the television show The Amazing Race, if anyone's ever seen that before. You get a clue, you have to go find that clue, and then once you solve it, it's either a GPS or a question and answer or something along those lines, then you get the next clue, and you race against other people to figure out who can get to the end the fastest. So with the Timos Challenge series of apps, there's currently 4 cities that I have available right now, and that's been a little bit of a limitation for me because only people in those cities can really play it. So after going through App Academy last year, I learned a lot of things I could do to improve the app, and we've been working really hard on a new version of the app where you can create your own races, you can play them with friends all around the world, and you can play them anywhere as well. So we've been working on getting that ready to be released as well. We had just a really awesome time at the App Academy last year. Learned a lot more about mobile development than I would have been able to learn on my own. And so far, I wouldn't say my app is as successful as Darklands by any means, but it's been a success for me because I've been able to get a lot of good feedback from people on what they like about it and what they would like to see improved.
Well, I wish I knew about this earlier because I've been going to Boston almost every month for the last year or so. So and I've been. Is this about? So is this about? Explain me what the app is more about. I'm looking at it right now. So is it about running or is it about finding things or what is it about?
Well, some of the clues are more physically challenging, so it might tell you to get somewhere in a certain amount of time. So if you run faster, you're gonna get a better score. Others are more mentally challenging, so you have to figure out some puzzle or clue in order to get to it. So really it gives anyone an advantage, whether they might be someone who's really smart or someone who's more physically active. That's kind of part of the competition around it to see who can have the right mix of both being more physically active and smart about how they go about solving the clues.
I'm really excited to try it because I'll be in Manhattan, so I can't wait for that.
Also,
cool.
maybe we can go to Pasi as well, and then let's see for social or
one thing that.
Well, go ahead, please, Tim. Continue if there's
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, just one thing that we did that was kind of good initially was we did a launch at the Microsoft stores in Boston and also in Manhattan and Columbus Circle. So I got to know the people who worked at the Microsoft stores there, and they helped me kind of promote the app with people who were in those regions.
Cool, great. So Pasi.
Right. We started our company a couple of years ago. We were all basically working for the same software company, and they laid off a lot of people. We all got laid off, so we figured out we might as well set up this game studio. We actually first started working on a much bigger project. It's a collectible card game. It was a massive project, and it was sort of far too big for us at that stage. We couldn't find funding, and we couldn't have completed the game in time. So then we sort of switched our tactics and decided to produce a couple smaller games instead. We released one game in a Habbo hotel environment. And then at some stage, someone came to the city and basically told us about the AppCampus project and about App Academy and about Windows Phone development. And we decided to try our next product on the Windows Phone. And yeah, we got into App Academy. We were a bit skeptical about it at first. We were thinking that it might not be a good use of our time, and that we have better things to do. But it only took us about a week to be convinced that AppCampus is a really great program for us, and we learned a great deal there. Yeah, and Windows Phone has been pretty good platform for us because we've got a lot of support from Nokia and Microsoft, much more than we could ever have imagined to get from, say, Google or Apple. So for us, it has worked out quite well, and the download numbers have been pretty good. We've got a lot of players, so far it's been good.
To hear. Can you guys hear me? Or is my connection not that good?
I can hear you. Yeah.
So, can you tell us more about your game? I was trying to launch it here. I was having.
Right. Pamir Duels is it's a one-on-one sort of battle game. Players collect this deck of cards. They choose a few cards to play with, and that's their hand. And from that hand, they play units onto the battlefield, and each unit has different numbers. There you can see the game. Great. And the goal of the game is to basically conquer all the opponent's units. So the player with more units in the end wins. And the long-term sort of goal in the game is to collect as many cards as you can and develop the cards. You can sacrifice worse cards to produce better ones. And it's a pretty nice system, and it should keep people hooked for a good time. And one thing we also wanted to ensure that a single match is pretty short, so it's only about 5 minutes, usually less than that, but the collection aspect gives the game a bit longer life cycle.
So it's. I mean, when I was a kid, then we were playing with different cards. It was either or whatever. Is this like similar?
Sorry,
app?
really, the connection was breaking. Couldn't hear you really.
Type the question down if you still, or Jen, if you want to ask any question from your side or anybody else.
Vincenzo, if you want to type your question into the chat, then I can ask for you. Oh, Vladislav is talking, but I think he's muted, so hold on.
I was gonna ask, like, maybe these are just cards, and this is more like on the app, and hold on, hit the bit. This is all obviously on the app, but it's about a win on which powers you have. And
it's really breaking off.
It's breaking off, yeah. So I guess maybe what you could tell us about is how are these like card games you would play, like the very popular card games that you would actually play physically in front of other people? Are there certain similarities? Is it just like that?
There are some similarities, and some of those physical card games are really hugely popular. And nowadays, even the virtual ones are getting more and more popular, probably because they're a pretty good fit for the free-to-play model. It's very natural that you purchase new booster packs, which are effectively new sort of card packs where you get better cards from, and then you will add those to your deck. So that's probably one of the reasons they are becoming, more popular every day.
That's really cool. I see there's kind of a resurgence in card games. So on an overall note, I really like that between the three of you, these are very different games with different ideas, yet they're also, they all work really well. They're excellent ideas. The challenge games are about using what's around you. The card games, play off of a classic, and Darklands is like a gamer's game, a person who loves electronics and gaming on consoles or computers. So I really like the variety of games. do any of you know how many developers in AppCampus are game developers? Is that one of the more popular types?
Well, I don't have an exact number,
It's
but
about 30 or 40%.
40% about? That's pretty
Yes.
good. That's
I
very solid.
think so.
Do you think, maybe, Tim, do you know maybe why there would be more game developers? It feels like that's a pretty high percentage, and my opinion is that it's really easy to game on Windows Phone. I think Windows Phone is the best platform actually for gaming, and with some of the best phones for gaming. Do you have any thoughts on why gaming is huge with AppCampus?
Well, I think it kind of goes along with the amount of the popularity of the games category for users. You know, I think they kind of match up the number of apps they pick for each category based on the popularity of those categories in the Windows Phone store, from what I understand.
That's cool. And
Games being, like, I think by far the most popular category.
okay. Do any of you develop something other than games, or have experience developing something other than games?
No. I actually did when I finished school. First job was some outsourcing, so I had some experience with other kind of software, but I really abandoned that kind of a fast. So I went to the graphics. I did one for one company that actually made statistics of statistical computation for buildings. So I was doing that rendering engine, but it's kind of a move towards the game, and after that I just started into gaming and never actually abandoned it, and I don't have plan to be honest. So no, I'm pure gamer.
So did you guys all buy the Xbox One on the first day?
No.
Oh, you guys
Not
are
yet.
PlayStation guys?
No, I'm not console guy. I was always PC and mobile. I never had consoles really. Yeah, I had in a way back. I remember this. What was Sega Mega Drive? I had.
with Sonic the Hedgehog or something.
Yeah, that was
Hedgehog, yeah.
Right.
Sorry guys, I dropped. I tried to get back in, so I missed part of the discussion. But I think I got how the game works, so that's cool. How about App Social? We wanted to hear from you guys if you guys have been using App Social, if you guys are part of Develop, if you guys have redeemed any campaigns from Develop to App Social, because now for people who watch this video and any other developers, if you join Develop, which is a platform for developers, we'll give you experience points for you doing certain things in your apps and your games, for updating it, adding certain features, expanding it to certain markets. And with those points, you can actually get placement within App Social, so you can get downloads for your apps. So has anybody tried this? And hopefully you guys heard me.
Yeah, I heard you, but I did play around with App Social, etc., because it actually was new for me. But it looks very like interesting concept, but I never had really. I didn't use this opportunity what you said, so I would really like to go into it, because any visibility came very interesting to me, and feeling like there is some social platform with the apps connected. It's kind of a very nice thing to, have any other promotion that can help you get visibility, and it's kind of feel like really good for viral sharing when people something really like, they will kind of post so people can see. So I like really idea.
Is anybody on Develop? Is anybody using Develop actively?
Not at the moment.
I have like 7 apps with Develop. I've done some other apps as well as games too, and but I haven't dug too far into App Social other than looking through it. I plan on doing that this week though. Looks really interesting.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously there are 2 different products, right? So Develop is the product for developers. It's a website where you can post your apps and get points. And all I'm saying is that we made a linkage between the 2, where you can get, with the Develop points, you can get placement into App Social. So you should definitely try that. So you can. Well, I was just getting a tweet from a developer that was telling me please follow me, I want to DM you, and they were telling me how, wow, we had an amazing experience with an amazing spike in downloads with the promotion from Develop and App Social. So you can get headsets like this ones, these monster headsets, but if you already have good headsets, you can get placement for your app and get a ton of downloads.
I get that headset for 500,000 downloads from AppCampus. So yeah, but I understand those headsets are like super cool. I love them, so it's kind of a good motivation, to be honest. So yeah, and I would like to check it. I know few people from AppCampus actually are kind of active with Develop, and I get to notice about it when they actually made article about Darkland. So I was very happy they like really sent some nice things about it. So yes, I'm definitely going to explore it more deeply.
Cool. That's great to hear. How about the rest of you guys? How do you guys have you guys tried Develop or no? And have you heard about it or an App Social? Any thoughts?
I think we got some promotion in App Social in the early days after our release, and I actually think that it was pretty good for us because we got a good number of downloads early on. So I think we're at about 140,000 downloads at the moment, which is okay for us. But obviously we're hoping for more. So, and as for the develop thing, we've looked at it, but we haven't really used it yet.
Well, yeah, I really recommend you guys to definitely take a look. How about Tim? I'm curious about Tim as well. Is Tim still here, or is he? I think he had to leave earlier.
No, I'm on. I've been using Develop. If you've been to Boston, you probably are familiar with Lance McCarthy.
Yeah.
He's the Nokia ambassador up there, and so he got me into using Develop over a year ago, I think. So I have I think 7 or 8 apps to develop right now, but he hasn't mentioned App Social to me, so I'll have to bother him about that.
Yeah, I think it's something basically not from the beginning we had, but basically we worked hard with the technical teams to create this linkage between the two platforms, so that App Social, it's not just Nokia is a large company telling you what apps to download, but it's also your friends telling you what app to download, the community, bloggers, and even developers. They can after they do good stuff with their apps, they can redeem those points to get placement and get their app featured. So developers are getting huge spikes in downloads, so I would recommend you save your experience points to do more App Social campaigns. And in fact, we're constantly expanding the amount of slots that we give to develop because more developers are redeeming those campaigns. So good. Well, looks like we can convert 2 more people to develop, and we convert 3 people to use experience points to App Social. I'm not making any money. I don't have any performance or money from getting more people to do those campaigns. But I guess indirectly, I'm really happy about you guys. Being more successful. It's our key target to make more of you guys successful and get you guys more downloads and so on. So and of course, we do have. I should mention. We do have a criteria, so you need to have at least I think 4.5 stars and at least 20 reviews, so that we make sure that only quality apps get promoted.
I want to mention, guys, I just completed the list that includes your games. If you have any games aside from what I created on the list, I put in the chat there, and it'll be on Twitter. App Social Chat with AppCampus Game Devs. So we'll put that list out there, make sure people see it, and I know a few of you have created your lists for games, so thanks for creating your lists, and we'll be sure to make sure they get out there.
Actually, I can tell you what's more. I can get you guys featured now globally, so that I'll do it right away while on this call. So we can feature the app list like right on the go, because I work very closely with our global merchandisers, and we said that we really want to talk more to you guys directly, because I think we can definitely learn new things from you guys. I had a really great event that the Italy team organized. As you guys can imagine, I'm originally Italian, and we had a meeting in Milano last December with about 60 developers, and actually most of them we already knew each other through AppSocial, so definitely let's make sure we follow each other as well on AppSocial. And we actually got feedback from them about a new feature that we're gonna work on, where basically, first of all, the first part for developers is that you guys are gonna be able to integrate into your app an ability to, hey, follow us on AppSocial, hey, link us on AppSocial, hey, like us on AppSocial, so that you get your consumers, your downloaders to become also your followers on social media and on AppSocial, and when you have new apps, they get to see it on their app feed. And the second point that developers have asked us, and maybe you guys have more ideas, is that, hey, could you please let us know whenever anybody adds our app to their app list, so that we know what they're saying. Because people can add your app and say, oh, this is a great game, I love it, or they can say, oh, I'm adding this game, it's not that great because of this, and then you can go and respond and interact with your consumers. So those are two ideas. I hope they make sense. If you have more comments or questions, please shoot.
Sure. Like I said before, I like the idea because it's connect apps. It's like when people are actually using, Facebook to actually do same thing. They create an app and trying to connect it to the people. But this is directly with the app, so I really like it. And I made a list. I have on my account a list, of course, of 2 of my games. I like Save the Birds and Darklands. They are on the Windows Phone. So yeah, we will see how the promotion go, and I'm really looking forward how that helped really with downloads and popularity. Really looking forward to it.
Cool. So we say bye to Tim. Thanks, Tim, for joining. He's gonna run. I'm sure he's very busy in Chile, tasting the wine and skiing and swimming and everything. So enjoy that for us.
Thanks,
yeah,
Tim.
I think.
Right. Ciao.
I think great to hear that feedback, Vladislav. Great to hear that you've tried it. And should you have any other type of features that you want to ask us for, please let us know. We do also have a user voice page where we get feedback from the various developers and consumers. So I just added the link here, and unfortunately, I realized on the public Google Hangout, we cannot add any comments. So by the way, if you also have feedback on other tools we should use instead of Google, we'll be happy to hear. but we do like to try out all the tools, So it's a blue ocean strategy. Yeah. So Pasi, do you have any thoughts on AppSocial and Develop? Have you tried them, or any questions and so on?
I think they're both tools that we still need to acquaint ourselves with better than we have so far done. I think that the sort of importance of those tools is going to just increase as the user base for Windows phones and Windows 8 increases. So, but so far, yeah, we haven't really employed them to their full potential, and hopefully we can do that soon.
Cool. Perfect. Have you tried it? Did you have an account on AppSocial or not yet?
Yeah, we do have an account. It's called Seepia Games, I think.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. And does that feature make sense to you? That if consumers add your app to their app list, then you get to know who it is, and you can thank them.
Yeah. That's because we really want to interact with the users and stay in constant touch with them. So we would really appreciate that, and I think it's a great feature to have.
Great. So yeah, absolutely, we're working on it, and we'll let you guys know. And if there is any other ways to improve anything for you guys, anything you guys would like to have, any thoughts, any ideas on how to improve, mainly from my side, AppSocial, but also Develop. Of course, I know the guys, so we can give the feedback.
Right. I'm not really sure how, for example, AppSocial, can interact with other social networks like Facebook or Twitter? Is there direct connection? Because those things can firstly increase popularity of App Social and of course of visibility of the game. So I think it's a win-win situation. So I think the very direct connection with these platforms should bring benefits. Something like, you know, when there was any new platform, social way, and it brings way of sharing, still incorporate sharing on these most spread social networks.
You can share on Facebook and Twitter and on, you know, and if you just want for email, but Facebook and Twitter you can share lists. You can share items as well too. Lists is one of the things that we think people are drawn to most in social media. But if you have any other suggestions about ways we can integrate, we're happy to hear them, and we're getting more features all the time, like notifications to see when people like or comment on items that you add. So there is a good social aspect within the app, and there is ability to share outside of the app.
All right. Good.
Yeah, we're looking into also doing more features like to tie more closely. Right now we're using like the native sharing functionality from Windows Phone to share to the different networks, but you know we are looking into tying in to Facebook and Twitter and other social networks as well directly with the app, so that you can find which one of your friends are on App Social. And also, yeah, I mean the direct kind of like sharing, scrubbing. We're thinking about it because. To be honest, you know, I use all the social apps as much as I can, and I think a lot of my friends hate me for that because either like I post too much, even just to try out how the social things work, or you know, they're like sometimes I get comments like I don't care all the Spotify songs you're listening to, you know. So it's like we have to think about how to balance that, you know, what gets shared on the social networks, but definitely really looking at it really closely. Yeah, especially with a big thing we've done a small announcement, and we'll do a bigger announcement, is about Windows 8. Right now we have an App Social client on Windows 8 for PC and tablets. We're only doing a trial in US and New Zealand, and only on Nokia tablets, the 2520. But obviously we want to expand it, and so especially on these platforms where we're not preloaded like on Windows Phone, we have to make sure that we can get enable the word of mouth as much as possible. So yeah, those are great comments, and I'd love to hear more. I love to talk about the product and how to improve it, and I'll definitely give you feedback on your games as well after I use them. I can already tell. I got into Darklands quite quickly because it was at least, you know, I'm not the smartest guy out there. I got in there quite quickly. For the cards game, I realized it was like, I think I need to give this game to my cousin, my younger cousin. So it was like a little bit too, but I wanna look at it again. I might suggest you, Pasi. I don't know if you. There was a tutorial, right? So there was a tutorial that you had in there.
And the tutorial part is something we're actively working on. We know that it's not up to par yet, so we still need to improve it a lot. So it's not you, it's our
cool.
game so far.
No, I mean, and I was doing it while I was talking to you guys. A lot of things were happening, so I'm gonna do it while I'm a little bit more calm, even though it's hard to find that. But yeah, I you know. I like to have these discussions talking about the product. So, Pasi, unless there is anything else from your side, I think at least from my side, I'm good. This was an interesting chat. Jen, any questions from your side?
I just wanted to thank you guys for taking the time to do this and talk about what you're doing and be flexible for it. So thanks a lot for showing up, and we will be tracking your guys' successes because I think you're all doing a really great job and making some great products.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to add one last thing.
Sure.
And, I was muted when I was wanted to say. So, Pasi, I really like your game, but just from the point of view that our first game we wanted to do was collective card game. We already had a design and everything. We just abandoned that because we didn't have money. It was too big project, just like you was thinking. So yeah, I totally feel with you, mate. So go for it. And I think the card game are good, but in my point, I would really simplify the gameplay. Otherwise, it will still be more to mid-core to hardcore, so kind of hard to get lots of attention. As you can see, the most popular card games are those that are actually just one card against other card. It's kind of stupid, but what you can do. All right, thank you for that.
No, I think it was a great comment. I mean, I didn't mean to shut down if you want to talk for a few more minutes. I do completely agree that you know, simplify, keep it simple, and it's the best thing we can do, whether it's on apps or on games or anything. We are currently also working actively on simplifying App Social. You know, right now we have 5 pivots, and we feel it's a little too much. We like how, you know, certain apps are simpler with less pivots, or have the ability to tap on the different pivots instead of just swiping, so you know where you're going. And yeah, I agree. Like, without judging at first look, without knowing anything about the product, when I first saw the card game, I was like, okay, you know, what are all these things? Where do I go? My eye was going in a million directions, right? And even though this is my first judgment, it's still, you know, it still kind of goes into the direction that Vladislav was going, where it's try to keep it more simple if you can UI-wise. And instead, I would say about Vladislav, about your game, my first feeling was that I was just using it now, and it was very clear, right? It was the figure of the little fighter there moving around, and it was really white and black, and I was just like, okay, I know who I am. I'm this little guy, and the tutorial was also very engaging, which is something that we as AppSocial are not doing well either. We should make it. Right now, we have a tutorial more like the other tutorial that you guys have on, that Pasi has, where it's like next, and it's more like, oh my god, it's so boring. We should do the tutorial where it's like, as you go into AppSocial, you see the tutorial. So, yeah, hopefully I didn't offend anybody by just throwing out my ideas.
No, actually, if I can add, you have a really quite point, because I will tell you something. When the first time they said to check AppSocial, I was like, I opened and I was like, what? What is this? What should I do? They said something about list. What's list? Okay. I was lost, really. So, as you said, you know, before we released the game Darklands, we had like maybe 6 gameplay concepts before we actually accepted this one. I know what we did: usability test all around. Made a concept, let the people that never saw it play and see it. And I just saw, you know, they grab it and they was confused. And they totally did wrong things. And I said, all right, this is not working, throw it away. And actually, we got simpler until we released this that actually, you know, became a catchy. Just because, you know, we did usability tests, we actually tested on people and saw their reaction if they are able to play it. It's not about making life complicated. It's making it, you know, kind of easy to get and make more like deeper content around it, but not about controlling system, etc. That should be really simple, stupid, you know. But there has to be things around that actually add value. People are too much games, too much application. They don't have a time to learn. And not even time. They could have a time. They don't have a will, because they even don't know if they will like the game. So why they will spend time learning something they're not sure they will like, you know? And it's about application, about everything. That's important. Why that should be ideal. For like example, for games, when you see lots of games that actually have one touch control, that's kind of a perfect. If you can do that, that's awesome. But if you have a little more complicated, fine. But try to simplify them. Really. That's all I say.
Yeah, I think this Pasi, anything from your side? Otherwise, I was gonna bring also the other side of the medal that there is to that. I fully agree. I 80-90% agree. Pasi, anything you want to say? Anything?
No, it's something we really need to work on, because the game's actually much simpler than it first appears. But that's the sort of hard part that we still need to figure out: how to get the players sort of over that small obstacle in the beginning. After you get the grasp of the game, it's just really quite simple. So, but that's probably a big challenge for a great many developers, how to create a great tutorial, and I'm sure there are classes and there are workshops for working on your tutorials. So, and it's something people really should pay attention to.
Yeah, I totally agree, because sometimes creating good tutorial actually like making whole game, So yes, it's hard but very important, and it has to be like step by step, I should think that games like Clash of Clans and other, they are kind of complicated when you see it. They're doing a great job with tutorial. They take you step by step through everything, and you're just feeling naturally, and they learn you one thing by time, So I think it's always, but yes, tutorial, and it has to be fun from beginning. Show fun, show like make them engage, not that like they feel like they have to hard labor learn something. It should be like from beginning. Even tutorial should be fun, So I don't have an answer for your game. I didn't study it that way, but I think, guys, you are very intelligent, so you will figure out. All it's about learning process, and yeah, we all improve. So I really see lots of talent in you, and I like the game. So keep going. You will do great.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say is the other side of the coin. I mean, like I said, I'm mostly for simplifying. I mostly agree it's better to get to more people and simplify. People have busy lives and they want to enjoy their lives while they're playing a phone or even using a phone. But I do think that also there's another level where there is a certain type of users that wants to get deeper into some experiences and maybe wants something that's a little bit more advanced / complicated / engaging. So I think the tricky thing is also about like how can you make it open to everybody to join and getting engaged, but also then satisfy the more advanced users to keep those engaged, because maybe if it's way too simple, then I think also it's tough to balance the two, right? And
I think we're going to see more and more sort of I won't use the phrase real games, but more sort of complicated games, because the mobile game sort of field is getting beyond the point where it's just very simple tapping games, and people are finally starting to produce even those deeper games for mobile platforms, and I think there's demand for both types of games. So it's not just tab games, or it's not just these really complicated games. There's loads of space between those two, and but yeah, I think that the platform, the mobile platform itself, is becoming more mature every day, and we'll see more and more sort of varied games on it.
I must agree with you, Pasi, but complicated doesn't mean that you have to make them jump into complicated things.
Yeah.
It's like step by step learning towards the big thing, like Vincenzo said, because hardcore players like to have a lots of things, but you can see that even hardcore players doesn't want to be jumping to sea and explore by themselves. So you can make gameplay like little thing by little, and you are adding, and at the end it will be a huge complicated game. For example, again, I would say example from Supercell, because they are kind of good motivation to get there, right? So Heyday, can you say it's a simple game? I can't. It's like a really complicated game. I have they built step by step, doing little things, and at the end you are controlling like massive amounts of things. But imagine yourself jumping into that world. You will just turn it off. But they are able to take you to the whole journey and make you feel happy, and you are at the end learn very complicated system, and you are happy, addicted, and spending lots of money there.
I mean, I'm pretty impressed from the quality of this chat. I'm sad Tim had to leave, but I think maybe a fewer of us were able to get to a deeper level. I think this was like definitely very inspiring for me, and I think what's cool is that I'm taking care of a social app store, which actually we feel right now we're one of the largest out there, because no app store out there is as social as we are, or has those amount of users since we're preloaded. and then you guys are taking care of games, different amount of downloads, different type of experiences, but we're all kind of facing the similar challenges. So it's really cool to share overall our philosophy and learnings and so on, and apply them in different ways. So I think from next Hangouts we definitely want to have more developers, and I think we should have also separate Hangout also with just consumers, hearing their experiences, right? How they go about App Social. So and maybe we can do a mix at some point as well between consumers and developers and so on.
That would be quite interesting.
So yeah, cool. Cool. Well, nothing else from my side. This was great. Unless there's any questions, comments from anybody. Happy to have you guys kick off the weekend there in Europe. We still have a little bit of a half day left here to work, but it's Saint Valentine, so I got some roses, and I'm ready to celebrate. Ready to celebrate it.
Thanks for having us.
Good job.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. It was fun, really.
Thanks for joining us.
Kiitos.
Thank
hvala
you.
lepo. Thank you. Grazie.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Ciao. Ciao.